Porch Talks, 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 Porch Talks.
This is Porch Talks. I'm your host, Prince Peculiar. We're here tonight. It's a wonderful night, and I have a special guest with me, a colleague of mine, Miss Tisa Thompson. She is an activist. She is a woman who is in her community. She is a scholar. She has her master's degree in divinity, and she's an individual who has a lot of knowledge and asset that we can use to help motivate us, to move us forward inspirationally in making us better in society. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about, continuing what we talked about last time, a little bit about women and how to help our ladies in our communities, how to strive for success. And so can you tell us a little bit about how you are in the community, how your activism, how things that you do in the community, some of the mentoring that you've done to young ladies, and some ideas or some strategies of how they can help themselves and motivate themselves to become better?
Yes, I do a lot in the community. As far as ministry goes, I'm often invited out to host different events. I recently did an event with some women just around self-motivating, just to help them become more aware of what it might take for them to help themselves to get unstuck. This was an event that was actually hosted by a friend of mine, and I kind of came in on the tail end of it just to be someone to there to encourage her, and we ended up forming the discussion more around some of the things that I myself have experienced and helping myself to get unstuck in different situations. Also a minister with a couple of different groups online, singles groups, as well as women's groups that just encourage sisterhood among ministers, as well as women of God that sit in the pews, as well as leaders in all different varieties, moms, single moms, married women. So my voice is out there, and I'm always available to help teach and preach to encourage women.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about some things that you may have gone through in life to help you or propel you to be who you are today? Like I said, you have your master's degree in divinity, and you've done a lot of different activist things and working around your community. What propelled you? What motivated you to want to help out these women and work with ladies?
Well, my mother, I consider her to be, one of the shining examples of my life. She was a strong woman as I grew up. She encouraged me to be myself and to continue to love women, to love on people in general, and so that kind of motivated me to want to do that. I also am I have 3 siblings, 2 of which are females, and so I think that my work started very young, seeing my mother and my aunts and my cousins, and just some of the struggles that we all faced in common, to help me want to motivate not just myself but also women that I came in contact with on a regular basis, daily when I'm on my way to work, or while I'm at work, just different places. So that my life, the walk of my life has always kind of linked itself to being that encourager to women.
That's powerful. That's powerful. I was reading a book called Failure is the Womb of Success, in which Dr. Samuel Chan has various people to come on in his book, and they tell about their struggle through life and how that the struggle that they've gone through, they've become successful through their failures. Is there any part of your life where you've seen there could have been a failure and it ended up being a success in your life?
I think that you can learn from just about any failure. I think in particular, when I was growing up, when I was in college, and actually even before college, I worked a lot of jobs, and it seemed that I couldn't hold on to one particular job. Those, every time I lost a job or I was let go or laid off, it seemed to me like I was failing, because going into the interviews, I was charismatic. People loved the energy that I brought to it, even if I wasn't so familiar with the job itself. But then leaving or having to leave a job, that was crushing to me. So what I learned to do is not take those blows to heart, but to continue on in the path that I knew was for me, and learn from every experience from then on. One of my jobs in particular, I was a bridal consultant. And so, you know, being a bridal consultant, you have access to women, bridesmaids, brides, mothers of brides, and you know, that's all I did all day. All of the women, everybody that I worked with were women. So I realized that those relationships that I was building was helping me for this type of ministry, to be able to speak to women positively about my own experiences as well as theirs. I got letters, they would come to my job inviting me to weddings, or just thanking me for the experience that they had. Dressing prom girls, their mothers couldn't reach them in the places that they were, because their mothers didn't always have the same insecurities that I automatically recognized when I approached young girls and dressing them. And so that's just one of the experiences. And then when I moved away, I wasn't able to do that job anymore, and I felt a little crushed because I had done so well in that. So that was one particular failure that I felt like, okay, God, you know, what is this about? I feel good here and I can't do this anymore. But it immediately got reconnected in a new community where I was able to do similar work. So.
Is there something that you could give the ladies out there, like you wanted to tell this one lady something special that would motivate her and move her forward in life to help her be successful? I know that it says that science tells you that it takes 21 days to formulate a habit. So if you want to do something new in your life, all it takes is 21 days consecutively of you saying that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this the next day, and stick to it, put your mind to it, stay focused to it, and automatically on the 22nd day, it'll be habitual. It'll be something that'll be routine for you. Is there something that you can give the ladies out tonight? One thing you might want to give to the ladies that will help them, edify them, build them, and moving to success?
One of the biggest things that I encourage my girlfriends and a lot of the women that I'm connected with is do something different. We often get stuck in a routine of doing the same thing, dating the same kind of people, going to the same kind of places, taking the same kind of jobs, doing the same kind of even leisurely things that we would find to be relaxing. But sometimes we need to do something different in order for things to change in our life. Go to a different setting, surround yourself with different kinds of people that are educated on different levels, that may not be even as educated as you are, but just do something different, and then stick to that something different for, like you were saying, the 21 days. If I decide that I want to write, do it for 21 days. If I decide that I want to go out, because I don't do that, do it, for that 21 days. And just try something that you wouldn't be different. It's hard because people get so comfortable in their uncomfortableness. They get comfortable in the negativity that they're surrounded by. They get comfortable with being stuck. So there's something different automatically almost pushes you out of that stuckness. It automatically pushes you into something different. And that something different sometimes feels a little bit weird, but you get used to the motivating factor of doing it once you continue on in that new space. So that's usually.
Awesome. Hey, my grandfather always says to dare to be different. Roderick, dare to be different. And so we're going to dare to be different. We're going to move forward. Hey, can you tell the people how they can reach Tisa Thompson?
I am currently on Facebook under my name, which I actually share with an actress, Tisa Thompson. But I do have an inspirational Twitter account as well, and that one is under, I call God Love, and so that one is where I can be reached at as well. And Naturally Ever After 28 is my YouTube channel, though I don't have that many videos yet, but I'm coming. Yeah. So those are where you can reach me at currently.
Awesome. Hey, we're so glad to have Miss Tisa Thompson here on Porch Talks tonight. We want to give a shout out to Joe Lewis, who is our CEO. We also want to give a shout out to Part-Time Wealth Creators LLC. We want to give a shout out to So Smooth Music, who is our Porch Talks music. And we also want to thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Prince Peculiar. Prince Peculiar. And we're going to see you next time on Porch Talks. Stay tuned.
Porch Talks.